This is France, the second largest economy in continental Europe and a regional center for finance, manufacturing, and highly valued industries. It is a country known for its cutting-edge tourism, fashion, nuclear energy, and education. France is home to 31 of the world's top 500 companies, operating globally to bring foreign income back into the country. It has a long history as one of the oldest advanced economies, being among the first countries to experience the Industrial Revolution. Despite its successes, the current state of the streets in France's capital paints a different picture. The streets are filled with uncollected garbage, crowded with police, and surrounded by closed shops. This situation stems from civil unrest that began in January as a protest against a bill that raised the retirement age for French citizens from 62 to 64 years. The demonstrations escalated into strikes involving various workers, including electricity network operators, teachers, public transportation drivers, dock workers, and garbage collectors. These strikes effectively paralyzed the French economy, as essential industries, even those not directly employing the protesters, rely on these public functions to operate. The ongoing demonstrations and strikes have negatively impacted tourism in Paris. Potential visitors are discouraged by reports of violent protests, tear gas, and the closure of popular attractions. Not to mention the excessive trash on the streets and the Parisian government's disregard for safety and public cleanliness. These demonstrations, regardless of one's stance on them, represent a visible outcome of an ongoing economic debate that all countries will have to face in the coming decades. Unfortunately, France finds itself embroiled in this heated debate at a time when its economy can least afford it. The national debt-to-GDP ratio is approaching 100%, which, although not uncommon for advanced economies like France, represents a significant burden, especially as interest rates rise. If these economic woes disrupt France's historical sources of foreign income, it could have repercussions on its economy and potentially trigger another crisis in the Eurozone. By examining the economic arguments for and against these demonstrations in France, we can draw lessons that apply to our own economies. It is crucial to understand the potential consequences and implications of these events. Only then can we accurately assess France's economic situation and its impact on the global stage. At its core, these demonstrations are about different solutions to the economic problem of worker productivity. For any economy to function, the factors of production are needed: land, capital, and labor. While it is possible that in the future, developments in automation and artificial intelligence may extensively replace the role of people in all parts of the economy, that will not happen as quickly as most people think. Robots and AI programs, like ChatGPT, are just part of what economists call capital, which is anything that helps people produce more things. A worker's tools of the trade are capital, a harbor is capital, and even people's homes, according to some economists' definitions, would be considered capital as they provide workers with a place to rest and prepare to produce more things. Even the most impressive things AI can currently do are only a small part of everything that needs to be done in a successful economy. An AI may be able to design a beautiful house, but it still needs humans to do everything else, including double-checking its work and actually constructing the house, and instructing the AI to design the house based on a set of instructions provided by a human in the first place. One day, all of this may happen automatically, but until then, artificial intelligence is just a tool that leverages human labor to produce more things, much like a hammer or any other piece of capital. France has been facing difficulties in adopting technical infrastructure in its highly technical industries and has relied more on labor than capital compared to other economies in the region, especially Germany. This is a problem for France as its population is aging and spending more time in retirement, placing a greater burden on younger workers. This happens directly through higher taxes that need to be paid by those still working to provide public services to the elderly, or indirectly through unproductive members of society who still consume resources from the economy but do not contribute anything in return. As people live longer on average, they will spend a larger proportion of their lives being a net economic burden rather than net economic providers, and I know it may sound terrible to refer to someone's existence as a burden, but sometimes economists can be a bit insensitive in the pursuit of aggregate simplicity. Now, countries like South Korea are facing similar problems as South Korea, which has a birth rate of only 0.84 children per woman on average and has much lower levels of young immigrants entering the country to replace people as they age and are no longer able to work. South Korea and many other countries, including in Europe, have fewer young people entering their workforce to replace the older ones, so the issue of population aging is more severe there than in France, at least on a macroeconomic level. France is a bit different because it actually has a healthy birth rate of 1.81 children per woman on average, which means it almost sustains its population even before immigration. However, despite the relatively comfortable position they are in, the French government has taken emergency measures to implement retirement reforms that are clearly unpopular among a large part of the French public. It's not just when people stop working that it becomes a problem. The truth is that more and more people are entering the workforce later in life because they are spending more time in school and university before getting their first full-time job. Higher levels of education typically make workers more productive as their education usually provides enhanced skills and knowledge. However, when workers enter the workforce later, it means they also retire later, which can create a challenge for the sustainability of social security systems. In France specifically, the situation is compounded by population aging and increased life expectancy. With more people living longer, the burden on younger workers increases as they need to pay higher taxes to support retirees for a longer period. This can result in a decrease in purchasing power and quality of life for younger workers, as well as a reduced capacity to invest in economic development. The French government recognizes the need to reform the pension system to ensure its long-term sustainability. However, the proposed reforms have faced significant resistance from the population and labor unions, who see these changes as a threat to workers' rights and benefits. Protests and strikes are manifestations of this dissatisfaction and reflect concerns about the future of financial security in retirement. While the reforms are unpopular, some experts argue that they are necessary to ensure economic stability and protect pension benefits for future generations. Increasing the retirement age and implementing financial sustainability measures may be challenging in the short term, but they may be essential to avoid a collapse of the pension system in the future. The pension situation in France reflects a global challenge faced by many countries regarding population aging and the sustainability of social security systems. It is necessary to find a balance between ensuring adequate benefits for retirees and not burdening younger workers. The pursuit of fair and sustainable solutions is crucial to ensuring long-term economic prosperity. We would like to know your opinion on this matter. What do you think about pension reforms not only in France but generally, as they have been happening in numerous other countries? Do you believe that stricter measures are necessary to ensure the sustainability of the system? Or do you think that government proposals are unfair and detrimental to workers' rights? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Furthermore, we want to hear about the experiences of other countries. If you are watching this video from another part of the world, how does your country deal with the challenges of social security and population aging? What solutions have been adopted or discussions are currently ongoing? Share your perspective and enrich our conversation. Thank you for watching this far. Don't forget to leave a like to help us continue producing more informative content, and also subscribe to the channel as we have videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Until next time.